leveling it. And then I'll just re-crumb coat it. So cakes, I think I said that before, cakes are never just a 10-minute process. It's never a quick process. That's why you have to have plenty of time for any kind of, grab the trash can, any kind of mistakes or things that may come up. So I'm just gonna level this using my wet towel to scrape off any of the frosting. And the same method I used before. I'm just using my turntable as the guide, and my arm just stays still. Okay. And then we can re-crumb coat it. Take off all the extra. And that's not exactly perfect, but today's class it is. If I was doing an actual wedding cake, I'd keep going.
So when you're building it, don't worry about it if it's a little uneven. Crumb
Yeah,
it, and then
if it's a little bit, you can fix. If I'm doing this with a buttercream frosting and not fondant, a little bit of unevenness is just fine because we can work it out with frosting.
You'll show us the dare, even when not filling that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have the dare. I'm gonna grab that real quickly, but I can absolutely do that after I talk about this cake here. All right, so. Then we talked about, I just went over, or Sue's question was about the square cake. All right, so let's just pretend this is all chilled and ready to go. So when I do the square cake, it is very similar to the round cake. You always want to have a big, huge, or not a huge, I should say, but you want to have plenty on top at the corners. So I don't want to have barely any frosting. You see that? When I'm going to start that corner right there, when I am starting my next side, I want to build it up. Because we can always take away. We can never, add and make it nice and smooth again. So let's just do this side real quickly here. So as you can see from this angle here, I have gone well above the top of the cake. Sometimes square cakes, I have to say in my own personal opinion, they take me a little longer to do. The cleaning and making it perfect. And then when I go to swipe the cake, alright, so I have the clean side, and the corner is what's going to give you a little bit more difficult time. You don't want to do a finished where you're going to wrap it around and do one small motion or one single motion, because that'll give almost like a lip, like a bubble.
yeah.
So that's what you don't want to do. You want to finish, and I can't do this facing you guys, but you want to finish with one single motion, and then you can go into the next side.
So you go completely over.
Yeah, and then so I have a little hole there, right? So I'm just going to go over it, maybe fill it in a little bit if it's too big of a hole. Okay. So then I have a smooth cake, and it's time for the top. So just like the round cakes, we smooth the side, and then we do the top. And then the trick with the squares is that I start with the corners, and I don't do a huge swipe first, because there's a lot of excess there, or there is a lot of points that we need to do. So I get it close enough, and then I do a nice smooth swipe. And you'll see there's just a little bit of push that the frosting made. That's okay, because I'll put it in the refrigerator. When it's hardened, I can swipe that right off, and it'll come right off nice and neat. Alright guys, go for it. Remember the technique, you're good actually. You're pretty good. I'm gonna get some frosting over here. Ooh, sorry guys. So with your cake, we want to make sure that the top is level. So if I were to scrape some of this off, see how the center is.
Because I put it on there to make it
I'm right behind you there. All right, so we got this. So we want to make sure
How am I
that we
halfway
start with
through
a
this?
little cake.
Yeah.
Even if it's looking pretty.
You did it crappy.
Alright, so as I see here, we have a little bit of cake here, not enough cake here. So I do one of two things. I just add a little frosting there to make it a little more.
I wanna go in